This is going to be a starseed reading for the Lemurian starseeds for October 2025. Prince of Swords, Defeat, the Hermit. You have Prudence on top of the deck. So, Prince of Swords represents the airy part of air, a young man, purely intellectual, full of ideas and designs, domineering, intensely clever, but unstable of purpose, with an elusive and elastic mind, supporting various and contradictory opinions. He slays as fast as he creates, ill-dignified, harsh. So you feel like you slayed at the wrong thing, maybe. But you were looking for results. And you're still going to get results. It's with the Hermit. I think you're going to find your results through like self-transformation. And, you know, if you feel like disappointed because you feel like maybe you cut the wrong branch, so to speak, I don't think it's necessarily that you cut the wrong branch. Like maybe you expected things to just work out differently. Like what your plan is and what Spirit's plan is just two different things. Yeah. And that's okay. Maybe there just needs to be a bridge gap, you know? But ultimately just trust the process. So you got 67, which is disconnection. When you are using disconnection as a coping mechanism, you feel relief. You no longer feel the tension of the conflict and feeling of separation that was occurring before you disconnected. You may feel like you're more in harmony and more connected, even though the truth is the opposite, and even if other people are screaming at you that you are disconnected. The disconnection in and of itself might be why you feel defeated, and maybe you just don't want to admit to the fact that you are disconnected. And in order to see those results through, you need the connection. Gaslighting. 69 for the card number. If you have drawn the sigil in this situation, either you are being gaslit or you are gaslighting yourself. If you were gaslighting someone else, you would have drawn sigil 10 or sigil 73. In order to create any improvement, you have to ungaslight yourself. To gaslight someone is to convince them that they didn't see what they saw, they didn't hear what they heard, or they are ridiculous or insane to feel what they feel. What they perceive is totally inaccurate and may even imply that something is seriously wrong with them. It is to make someone believe that his or her reality is not reality when in fact it is. And this is why they feel so confused. The experience of gaslighting makes you feel like you are going totally crazy. Imagine that you walked out of your bedroom and I walked into your bedroom and I replaced your bed cover when you came back into the room and noticed and asked me why I did that. Imagine that I say, I don't know what you're talking about. That was the cover you had on there all along. That feeling you would have right there in that minute is the telltale sign that you are being gaslit. If gaslighting is happening over and over again in your family of origin, the only way you can cope with that feeling is to suppress, reject, deny, and disown it. You start to gaslight yourself for the sake of harmony within the household. You learned to buy into whatever the family story of reality was and tried to bury that part of yourself that was screaming, this isn't right. The reality is something else. If you learned this behavior in childhood, you are likely to use it in your adulthood. In situations, you tend to be the one to consistently tell yourself that what you perceive is totally inaccurate and may even imply that something is seriously wrong with you. As you can guess, a person cannot be gaslit or gaslight themselves and stay healthy. They can't be gaslit or gaslight themselves and get unstuck. Whatever is suppressed will boil up through the floorboards. The negative emotions that have been buried function like a poison within, a poison that begins to make a person feel totally toxic inside. If you have drawn the sigil has come to specifically help you break out of the gaslight that you are stuck in. You need to see that your feelings, your thoughts, your perceptions, and your reality are important and worthy of consideration. You need to see that the reality you or someone else is currently trying to convince you isn't reality, is actually the reality. Okay, well, I think that's the point. Well, I hope you have a good October.